welcome. I'm Jessie Walters from Charles Rutenberg. I'm here today just to talk about the market, new listings, and some side hustles for people that are feeling a little bit of the pinch when it's coming to finances and stuff. So we're going to go over first. We always talk about how many houses are listed in Pasco County, Hillsborough County, Pinellas County, Hernando County, and we had a big shortage. As you know, about 6 months ago last year, we had this shortage. Now we have a lot of new construction homes, which is helping people, change the pinch, as I would say. But in Pasco County, we have 2,200 approximately houses for sale right now. And we used to see houses at like 100,000, 125,000 for people who wanted like rentals or first-time home buyers or retirees. Now the mobiles start at like 50,000, and then new home sales in Pasco County are around 160,000. I see that with most Pinellas, Hillsborough, Pasco, and Hernando too, that the house prices are really similar. But in Hillsborough County, we had 4,232 houses for sale right now. And again, the houses start around the 150,000 mark, where you actually see a house. It might be like really, really small at that price, but they are available, and there's mobile homes starting around 85,000. Again, some of these are fixer-up prices, and then of course we go into the higher-end homes, but just show you kind of like the base of where it used to be buying a house, move-in ready for 200 grand. Of course smaller houses and stuff like that. 2,992 in Pinellas, and again around the same price range, 160,000 to get a house. And then 718 are available in Hernando. Now, Hernando doesn't have the accurate numbers on the MLS exchange, or the MLS we call it, because there's the Hernando, actually they have their own MLS. So sometimes these aren't accurate on our MLS. But that kind of gives you an idea. There's a lot, inventory is up. There still is a shortage. The price median has gone up too. So it kind of gives you an idea. And I did get some new listings. One is, actually both of them right now are in Beacon Woods. I have some properties for sale too, but I'm going to throw up the pictures in a second. We'll go over just the new listings. They just were put on the market. So if you're looking for a condo, 55 and over, Beacon Woods, I have one on Dearborn, and that property is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It's got a new roof on it, put on by the HOA. The HOA covers the internet, the water, the yard maintenance, and there's the bathroom in there. That's the master bathroom in there. It's pretty much move-in ready. You could probably throw some paint on it if you wanted to, but it's a nice house, especially if you're going to retire 55 and over. There is a 2-year rental with Beacon Woods. In other words, you have to own it 2 years prior to renting it out. So that's the back room, and it also has the laundry room in it. The washer dryer stay. They're not like prized possessions, but they're nice to get that wash done. It's a nice sized living room with a slider. You can see that's what we just looked through with the laundry room and the porch, and it has blinds and stuff back there. That's located probably not even a mile, maybe a half a mile from the HOA Community Center, which has a pool, and of course Beacon Woods is one of the ones where the golf is very, very reasonable. So if you love golf, this is a community where the golf course is basically very affordable. Because I know a lot of times people are like, well, golf is so expensive. Beacon Woods, they do have a monthly HOA fee on that Dearborn condo, but it does include a lot. Basically, the only thing you need to do is really bring your toothbrush and pay electric bill. Internet's included too, so if you wanted to, get a phone line, that would be extra. But basically, electric you would pay, and then you would pay the minimal HOA fee, which I believe is $353 approximately a month. But that includes, like I said, your water, your lawn maintenance, that roof that was just put on, and the internet and stuff. So it's actually a pretty good deal. We have a lot of people looking at it right now. So, but give me a call if you'd like to see it. But hopefully we'll be under contract soon on that one. And then I have another one in Beacon Woods, in lovely Beacon Woods, Hudson, Florida, 34667. That one is located on Club Drive in Hudson. There's the aerial shot. And as you can see, it's on the golf course. So that's what all that grass is behind it. Yep, there it is. This house is just beautiful inside. It's very nice, very well kept. I had sold this to her, I think I want to say like 4 years ago, and she's redone everything in the house. So we got new bathrooms, just everything just looks beautiful. That is the second bathroom. This room here is either a third bedroom or another living room area. It has barn doors which separates. She's using it as a second living room. And then you have the main living room, which is really nice and stuff. All new paint, fresh paint, and new flooring, new window treatments, and the new, like basically that has new fixtures, ceiling fixtures and stuff too. But you can see how nice I love that tile. It's so pretty. Now she's just moved a bunch of that furniture out because she's moved out of town. So now it just looks wide open with just the tile. That nice big baseboard on there too. And then this kitchen's amazing. It has the granite for days, with that big island. The stainless steel appliances stay, and it's just a really big kitchen with lots of space for entertaining, just very, very nice, as you can see in there. Actually, I don't think you can see the color of the granite there, but oh, there it is. Yeah, that's a nice picture. You could even add on here and put a little backsplash if you wanted to. Some subway tiles would make it, take it up a notch, but it's just beautiful when you get in there. And that's the barn door for that either bedroom or second living room, however you want to use it. It shuts, and it looks nice when it's shut and stuff. It does have a side entrance. You can see the golf course kind of behind it, behind those trees there. I actually have a for sale sign there on the golf course as well. And again, there's the golf course area. I have another aerial shot. I don't know if it's on this one or not, of the community center. Again, it's the same community center that I was just explaining about on that condo. And I want to say it's probably a mile from this home. And your community center has a pool, has tennis courts. I believe it has a workout room too. But anyway, that's, I want to say about a mile from this property. This property is $319. The other property, the condo, was $159. So they're good price points too. I know some realtors don't take anything under $500,000 to list. They don't take the time to do that. I've sold, like I said, I sold this to her, and I'm reselling it for her. I don't care if your property is, 50,000 or, any thousand. I don't care. And the highest, obviously that's great, but I don't have any prejudice against if your property is 159 or 319 as this one is. I mentor a bunch of realtors, and I thought it was funny. They all wanted to do the open houses for me, and that's kind of how you train them to, this is how you greet people. This is how you, how you set up the open house. This is how everything gets done. And the one, I was kind of going through it with him, and then he, if he's watching this, he'll get a kick out of it, but he told me that the price point was too low for him. So that was on the 319, so he wouldn't come out. And so I've never been like that. When you're first starting, with anything, any type of business, I feel like you need to stay humble, not pick up the scraps, but stay humble. That's what it's always worked for me. And so I'll probably end up doing that one, the lower one, the open house myself. Although I did have a bunch of new motivated realtors and stuff that have just come on the workforce, and some of them are kind of hanging out at the house right now because of it's slowed down a little bit as far as there's not huge bidding wars as there was. There's still some bidding wars depending on the area that you're in, but not every house is a bidding war. So for that, so what's changed with the industry? Well, I think I always tell you guys stories of how I'd pull up and then there'd be like 3 cars and you'd wait and there'd be a line outside because, COVID too, we had to stay 6 foot away. So only one person in at a time, 15-minute intervals. So now when you pull up, there's no one there. It's just you and your clients. There's hours in between the showings now. So it's actually, I guess it's frustrating for probably a selling agent, but then it's nice for a buyer's agent because you don't have that pressure. We have to get back within 15, 20 minutes to write that offer or the house is gone. So people are back to the times when they would say, I'm going to go home and sleep on it. And so they're taking their time. So with all that being said, the market as far as it goes on television, everywhere I go, Publix, like I said, 7-Eleven, CBS, wherever I go, if I have my real estate shirt on or my tag, people will say, how's the market? How's the market? Well, as you can see, I'm getting listings. I'm going to get another 2 listings in Beacon Woods, so I'll have 4. I'm going to get another condo right next to the one condo I have for sale, and it'll be on the higher end. And I'm going to get another home, a 2-story in Beacon Woods. So sellers are, some of them were taking time to fix things up. Some of them were taking time to move family out. Sellers are still, basically having things for sale, obviously. And then the buyers have watched the news and watched and talked to people and said, well, the market's going to crash, so I'm going to wait till I get a good deal. The interest rates are only 4% and 5% right now. And so if everybody can remember back, depending on how old you are, 2006, 2007, 2008, all those interest rates were through the roof. I mean, they were twice as much at the time. So we still had, a good market. Everything was still selling. The only, the banks couldn't lend enough money, so that's pretty much why the bottom fell out of it. Now the banks scrutinize more. Interest rates are still very good. They're half of what they were back then. So if you think you're paying too much, I know in 2008, I mean, there were so many high interest rate loans, and people were trying to, have assumable loans and all sorts of crazy things. If you basically take that into consideration, you'll see that the interest rates are, they're higher than the last 2 years, but they're still pretty good if compared to people that owned houses in 2008, 2009, if that makes any sense. But, the Fed, that's how they control the inflation and the economy is, they dropped those interest rates really low. So then everybody went out and got free money and, did home improvements because we all got stuck in the house with COVID. And they decided that maybe the house wasn't what they wanted when they got stuck in the house with COVID. They wanted to get a bigger house. So they sold and then they refinanced with these great interest rates. Basically, like I said, free money. And now everybody's at the position where they're like, what is going on? Is it going to go up more? Is this going to freeze the economy? And of course, we're not fortune tellers. We don't know what the Fed's going to do. I know projected, it's supposed to go up, but so should you buy a house? Well, if you do the calculation compared renting to a home purchase, you're still going to be up on a home purchase. You're still going to be a better deal on a home purchase. And if you guys actually want to see it in writing, because some people are numbers people, I have the Nightberry title. They sponsor the show on their app, and anyone can download it. It has renting versus buying, and you can actually go in there and put in how much you're paying in rent, and it'll tell you in a comparison. It's just right on the app and stuff. In a couple minutes, I'll take a break, but then I'll come back on and do a comparison and tell you what it would be. So like average rental price right now, depending on which county you're in, is going to be, let's just say around on the high, well, say 2,000, because it's anywhere from, depending on if you want a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, it's going to be around 1,300 to 2,000. So I'll compare a 2,000 a month rental in comparison to a house, and then you guys can see the price difference, and I'll show you how to do the app and stuff. But it's pretty cool. But again, like people were asking, is the market going to crash? And like I said, we're not fortune tellers. We can't really tell, but we can tell is what is going on right now. So the news was saying that the market's cooled, and that was last month, and the market was still going pretty strong and stuff. I know they project everything to slow down and buyers to be more cautious, and this would make the economy slow down and possibly a recession. But with Florida, I don't know if we count as the normal state. You know what I mean? Like, because we're like that place where we live and you vacation. That's like one of our mottos here. So to say that we're going to slow down and we're going to not sell, I feel like we're kind of like off the edge of, the United States, where people still, it's affordable, it's a great place to retire. If you're selling a house in California or New York, you can get twice as much for your buck in Florida. So to say that Florida is going to stop and that we're going to go, get hit hard, I feel like we're always going to have people wanting to come here and retire, wanting to come from other countries where our money's worth less, and buying a house here and for vacation homes and stuff like that. So I don't feel, but that's, I would say opinion, that it's going to crash as far as we're going to see like we did in 2008 and stuff where where the people were just ripping the cabinets off the walls and selling the appliances right out of the houses, and they maxed it out because the banks this time, the lenders this time, were more conservative with the lending. And if anyone purchased a house, they know because the banks actually kind of gave them a hard time. They ask for your bank statements, they ask for your proof of income, they ask for your tax returns, they verify your job. And then if anything's looks derogatory, they want an explanation. In 2008 and 2009, it was like, how much money do you want? Okay, do you have a letter from so-and-so to say you're good? Yeah, okay, here. So it was a lot easier. Now they want like proof, and they want the documents to back it up. They want the bank statement to verify the money that came in. They see money going out every month. At the same time, they want to know what that is. And a lot of buyers get, kind of not insulted, but a little bit like, why are they so nosy? And it's like, well, every Friday, we always tell the story. Every Friday, you go buy a lottery ticket, and then you put the money back in. And then I had the one who every day would buy the lottery ticket, the coffee, donut, and then would take out like $100 in the morning, and then put back when they'd win like 120, and the next day go buy the same exact thing, and then put back in $40 and then take back out. So every day they see this transaction, and it just makes them look like a risk. And of course, it's at 7-Eleven, so you could say, well, part of it's gas. But when they brought it down to nitty gritty, my buyer had to say, well, I buy a lottery ticket, in hopes to not have to go to work. I buy a lottery ticket every day, a coffee and a donut. And when they saw the amount, it is actually added up to that. And that's what he did every day, So stuff like that compared to 2008, when they didn't care if you got 10 lottery tickets and 5 donuts, compared to now where they're actually like interrogating you on, what were you doing with that money? So things have changed a lot. So with them being so, I want to say, conservative on the lending, I don't think that we'll crash as we did in 2008. Hopefully, touch wood, we went worse than wood. Yeah, so I think we'll be good. But so we're going to take a quick break, but I want to talk to you guys, people that have purchased a house and are looking to make extra income. I got some great ideas for side hustles, so stay tuned, and I'll be right back to tell you more. Welcome back. I'm Jessie Walters from Charles Rutenberg. So we were talking about, will the economy collapse, and, what will happen? And like I said, I'm not a fortune teller, but I do see some signs of people that, and you might be one of them, and I'm not picking on you if you are, but a lot of people took that free money, 3% interest rates, and they refinanced their house, and they had a whole bunch of money. And when you have a whole bunch of money extra, the first thing you do is obviously you want to clean up your house or fix up your house, or and so a lot of people did that, and a lot of people put in pools. So the pool industry definitely went up. So they made their COVID, the COVID times into being stuck in the house into they want to make an oasis. So they put on back additions, and they put on pools. And then so then what's another thing they did? Well, they were so bored on the weekends and they wanted to stay away from everybody. So what do? You need to buy an RV, and you need to go to campsites and just be away from everybody. And then they had extra money, and they're like, well, we don't want to stay in a hotel room. It makes sense. A camper would be better. We have our privacy. We can take our families. So that's cool. And so they did that. And then what else they do? They bought, like basically recreational things, which is great, and which I always want to do, which I must get in trouble because it's like, let's get a boat, let's get an RV, let's do this, let's do that. And then you end up with all these, my husband would say yard ornaments, So you want to make sure you don't do that. But so a lot of everybody, speaking of that, bought boats and stuff too. So how to tell if the economy is slowing is when you start to see things on the side of the road for sale. And I always talk about this, but I'm going to mention it again because I'm going to tell you guys a couple different side hustles on it. So we were talking before, and we talked about RVs and boats and stuff like that. Now, a lot of times, you already have these objects, you want to keep it, and if you're not, and it sounds funny, but if you're not grossed out by other people touching your stuff, like if you're not a germaphobe, they have a program now where you can actually rent out your RV. You can set it up. I have a friend that does this. He drives across to a certain radius, and he pulls the RV, sets it up, and then they come in and then they rent it like they would a hotel, and they get extra money from doing that, and the RV is not just sitting there going to waste. So that's one side hustle. And all you have to do is Google it. And you can see how to do that. And I was like, wow, that's pretty clever. I never knew about that. Again, you have someone, people are in your place. So if you're a germaphobe, this is not going to work for you. But then they also have another side hustle. I have a house with a pool, and I never am home. And I never even go in the pool now. The pool was great when the kids were little, but now the pool just sits there empty. Aha! Can I make money out of the pool? Yes, you can. So, again, you just have to Google this. People rent out their pools. So, which to me, I was kind of laughing because my daughter is super social, and I was thinking of her, and I was thinking we rent out the pool, and there'd be like 20 people in our backyard, and she would be one of them in the backyard running around with people that I don't even know. So if you have kids, maybe don't, this is probably not the best idea. But if you are never home, and now I'm not sure how liability works on this stuff. I don't know if someone, falls in your camper or trips in by your pool, how that works. Hopefully your homeowners covers it. I don't know. But anyway, so that's another side hustle is now you can rent out your pool. So if you have a camper, you can go park it on the weekends and you're not using your pool, then you got a side hustle on your pool. Okay, what's another side hustle? I was just telling a friend this the other day. They were talking about being maxed out on the mortgage. Not that they can't afford it because the bank lent it to them. It's just that they can't afford to do anything now. They're they call it house poor. They are, this house is nice. They thought it was great. I think when you're buying a house, you're like, I won't go to dinner and I'll sacrifice for this house because it's so great. And I'm going to just be so happy to be in this house. Well, they had seen neighbors, going to obviously dinner and going on vacations, and they were like, well, we don't know what to do. We want to sell the house. So when I go to list your house, I always say, are you sure you want to sell? And I shouldn't, because I'm a realtor. I should just say, yeah, let's put it for sale. Yeah, I'm going to make the commission. But instead I say, why are you guys moving? This is especially if it's a great place. So I'm like, this is a great place. Why would you be, can I ask why you'd move? And then they said, well, we're just, basically strapped with this house. We can afford it, we love it, but that's it. So this house has a bathroom in the garage and a separate entrance. So I said, hey, it's not in a deed restricted area, which I don't think it would even be a restriction, but sometimes you can't convert your garage into a room. So I said, hey, I don't know how much you're willing to put into this house, but if you already have a bathroom in the garage, why don't you just drywall the garage door in, side entrance, and charge. Right now, rooms for rent are going anywhere from $500 to like $900 a month. And I don't know what your mortgage payment is, but there's a side hustle again. So you can rent out your garage area and make that income And again, if you have kids, of course you want to do a background check on this person. It'd be great if it was family, but if it's family, they're going to come in the house. So it's better to be a friend of a friend, someone that, if you see them and they're not going to irritate you, especially if you're going to share a kitchen. Well, the one house I just talked to someone about, they had like a separate little buffet type part where the kitchen was, so they wouldn't have to share a kitchen. So remember, if you're renting a room out and it's in the house, so if it's in the garage and you can make a studio, separate entrance, that's perfect. You can get more money. But if it's in your house and you're renting a room, so now someone's coming in your front door, they're mingling with you like in the common areas, which is going to be which is going to be the kitchen and like the living room area, or maybe they're not. Maybe you're just like, this is your room. You're not allowed in this part. You're only allowed in the kitchen. Whatever your house rules are, you want to make sure if you do this that again, if you have kids, I don't really suggest to do this only because you don't want strangers in your house, and you want to do background checks. Even if you don't have kids, you obviously want to do background checks. I have a credit check guy, and again, you can Google credit checks, but you want to tell someone you want to check, criminal, and you want to check credit too. Not just their credit, because if someone's renting a room for rent, they probably don't have the best credit. I mean, not necessarily, maybe building it back, or they're just trying to, maybe they're just trying to figure out where they want to live, and they're just kind of temporarily staying here month to month. Whatever their reasons may be, you still want to check that person. And usually the tenant will pay for that, so you don't have to spend extra money on that. So that's another side hustle is, I'm going to rent out a room for rent. I don't really like people that much, but I'm going to rent a room out for rent because it's going to help me pay my bills. And then you'll like people more at that point. So this is a good one. Your garage. Say you don't want to take it to a studio. Say you're like, oh, my neighborhood, what are my neighbors going to think? You can rent out your garage. So that's a new one. I had never heard that one. I thought, well, isn't that clever? That you could have someone who maybe has a fancy car or a boat, and they have an HOA, and they're not allowed to have it in their garage. So basically, what does that mean for you? You can rent out a space in your garage, or both spaces in your garage if you have a 2-car garage. So you're going to make up a lease with this person's Corvette, motorcycle, boat, and you're going to get that premium. Now, you can't, depending on which area, and the best way to figure out how much you should charge is going to be, you're going to Google the storage places. So you want to Google storage in my area, 1-car garage, how much is it? And then maybe make it like $10, $20 a month less. Now, a lot of those are not available, and that's why people are actually renting out their garage areas. So if you call a couple places and there's none available, of course, don't hike it up, but you could probably get the same premium as the storage units near you and stuff. So that's another way. That's another one of my side hustles. Oh, and then here's another side hustle. And again, it depends on what area you live in, because in different counties, the ordinance or the city ordinance is that any type of recreational vehicles have to be even with the side of your house. So if you're not in a deed restricted community and you have the side of your house open, and again, a side hustle, you want to make extra money, you can rent. You can tell someone, you can park in my yard. If you have a fence, obviously it's better, so they feel like their stuff won't get stolen or anyone in it. But you can take that space and say, yeah, sure, you can rent it for however much a month. Again, you want to call around, see what the open storage areas are. That means outside storage, how much they're charging for it, and then again, undercut it a little bit. And now, on the outsourced storage, there's usually a lot of that available. So the chances of that being short is slim, but depending on which areas you're in, if you're in a really busy, like metropolitan area, or it's being built up really fast, there may be no outdoor storage too. So you can charge outdoor storage. So you could literally have two cars in your garage and a boat on the side of your yard and be making, $300 extra a month, depending on how tight things are, in the house and stuff. So again, these are just ideas for extra. I call it the side hustle. And if you if you're getting short on funds and you don't necessarily want to move, those are great ideas with the side hustle. I know with kids and stuff for the areas, they were even, walking dogs and stuff like that. And of course, you're a grown adult. You don't want to ask people, can I walk your dog? And you're going to pay me. But what a good idea is, too, is if you have dogs, I've seen this a lot, that when you go on vacation, I have this one couple that I know of, and they will take your dog, and they have dogs. They have 2 dogs, and they'll take up to 2 dogs, and they charge you, and it's just almost the same as a boarding place, but a lot of people feel, it's better because their dog is like one-on-one with someone, so they board the dog during vacations, which is they're retired and they get their Social Security checks, but they wanted to make a little extra income, and they love dogs and stuff. So I was like, wow, that's a good idea. I don't know if they take cats and stuff, but they interview your dog to see if your dog will get along with their dogs prior to your vacation and stuff. So you've got to take your dog to this person's house. My dog doesn't get along with anyone. They say that your dog is like you, but I don't necessarily agree with that, because my dog, unfriendly, hates everyone, just always in a bad mood. And then my other dog, really sweet, friends with everyone. Basically, we get in any stranger's car. So they're just 2 opposites. So the one I know would do really well with the people, but the other one acts like a jerk, so I can't take him to that house. But I just thought, wow, that was a really good idea for like a side hustle. If you like dogs and stuff, you could actually literally board more than that if you could keep them all separate and stuff. So again, with the boarding idea, I have a neighbor who actually, her side hustle, she's getting ready to retire, hasn't retired yet, but her side hustle is she will go to your house, she'll feed your dog, and she'll walk your dog, and she gets paid so much per day and has a little brochure and stuff like that. And so it doesn't take a lot of time to do that. If you take them out twice a day, I know she had different rates and stuff like that, but if you're home, you don't want to say, oh yeah, I'm going to do all this stuff, and then you're not even home, and you have your neighbor's dogs, you want a nightmare. Neighbor's dogs running through your house, and you're getting paid for it, but your house is a wreck now. You want something where you're actually, making extra money. It's not stressful. It's great for like the summertime. If you're a teacher and you have the whole summer off, you want to take care of someone's, dogs or cats or whatever. Cats are a little tricky because a lot of times when you relocate them, they take off. So you're going to be real careful. I would say I would rather, with cats, go to someone's house and just make sure you don't let one out the front door. I know that's like with the realtors, we're always like, watch a cat when you go in the door. You don't want to lose someone's cat and stuff, because they do get tendency to get spooked more than dogs. Okay, so my last side hustle, this is for moms. This is for moms that just had kids and they're sitting at home. And this sounds crazy and you guys are going to want to kill me, but another side hustle would be to have another child. You're already home. And I know your kids a lot, depending on the age, especially, like sometimes newborns, though, they sleep all day if you get a good one, and they're just asleep. And then you have this other child, because you're home all day. So you might as well watch so-and-so's kid, a little bit less than preschool. They don't have to worry about germs. The house is clean. You're entertaining them all day. You're there anyway. Or maybe 2 kids, and you're going to make like a part-time income then, and you're already at home, as your kids, as they turn into toddlers, of course, they get, I don't know, say worse, but it gets more active. So you don't have, you could have 3 toddlers, but I mean, that's up to you guys, but you're going to make money, but I don't know. But you're going to have kids in everywhere, make sure your whole house is kid-proofed. I know they have all those things that, like how to, on TikTok and all that, how to do this and how to make side hustle with this. But like with kids, if you keep them entertained, if you're homeschooling and you even want to homeschool one of your friends' kids, that's another option too. So it's like one of those things of, what's my time worth, and how much work am I willing to do, and depending on the age of the kids and stuff like that. If you get over so many kids, I think you have to get license and get like your daycare thing at your house. So don't take my advice and get like 10 kids at your house and then call me and say this was your idea and like liability and all that stuff. That's on you guys. I'm just putting ideas out there, and then if you guys like them, basically find out the rest, like the information you need, because again, these are side hustles. I don't know if you need licensing. I don't know if you need extra insurance at your house. I just found it interesting that there were so many side hustles that were available now, and then a lot of people hadn't thought of them, So every time I hear one, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a good idea. I mean, not that everybody is so tight on their mortgages that they have to do this, but a lot of times, you would be surprised how many people call me and say, I don't know what to do. I need a roof. I bought that house from you. Do you know of any programs? And so, their daily job pays all the bills, and then trying to come up with, that side business or, something to get that extra money so they don't have to refinance the house again for the roof, or, different programs like, I think it's a PAYS program for roofs, or in some areas, it's just different programs and stuff available. And like I said, I do go through what do you like to do on the weekends? Like, what's your side hustle? And then, the one friend, she has kayaks, and I said, you could be a kayak tour guide. Again, I don't know if you need licensing just to take 1 or 2 people out to see if you like it, and then get your license and get your business and get your cards and stuff like that, and then get your disclaimer form that says if they fall out of the kayak and hit themselves in the head, you're not going to get sued and stuff. But she loves doing that, and she knows all these different places that no one knows. And so she's like, oh yeah, I took so-and-so, they couldn't believe it. Oh yeah, so-and-so followed me too. And I'm like, that's actually a thing. That's a actual gig. You could actually have a group of people follow you around, and if you're strong on the kayak, you could actually, that's side hustle, so those are just different things. But hope this helped you guys. It's fun talking about just different stuff other than the norm of real estate and everything. But hold tight for a second. We're going to go over sponsors and different things available in Pasco, Pinellas, Hillsborough, and Hernando. Talk to you soon. Welcome back. I'm Jessie Walters from Charles Rutenberg. We're just talking about basically what's for sale, what's coming for sale, side hustles, and how the economy's doing. And before I was talking about how to tell if people are starting to feel a pinch by selling recreational vehicles and boats and campers and all that stuff, and how to make extra money and stuff. But so when you guys all ask me, is the economy is the real estate market going to drop out? Is this going to happen? Is this going to happen? So everybody keeps asking me. So basically, how to tell if it's actually happening is real estate works as home sales are always number one. Single family homes always are the first things to sell. So you can see that if they're selling steady, it was always a 4% increase per year. The values would go up, which was better than, say, probably, your CDs and stuff like that. So if you bought a house for $300,000, you knew 300 times 4% it'd be worth like 312 in like a year, or 310, or it would go up somewhere around there. And the median was like 4%. So of course we had this big, huge increase where houses, some of them doubled and some went up 16% to 25. Was supposed to be the average, but I saw houses, people make 100,000 in 6 months on them. Just went crazy and stuff. With all that being said, houses sell first. Houses are always like, that's how you kind of tell if the economy is doing good. Obviously, when the house sales slow, the average, in 2008, 2009, after the economy started to come back, was like a 30-day house sale. That was normal. A 60-day house sale, that was normal. Not 1 day or 3 days it's almost like we're spoiled now. We're used to, 10 offers in 3 days, and where's all my buyers? What's going on? The best thing is don't freak out, that your house will sell. Houses always sell. And the reason they sell is either price or like location, or price and location. So if they like your house and you have it set at the right price, you're going to sell it. It may take you a little longer right now, but you're still going to sell it. So the houses go as far as house sales first, mobile homes and condos, and then land. And of course, you have the new construction kind of going sideways with it. So houses will be number one. And then once the new construction takes over, where there's so much new construction, it kind of almost, your single family homes are competing with it. So it takes a lot of the demand off the single family homes. So now in the state of Florida, we have a lot of new construction. So everyone's like, oh, the economy slowed down. Single family homes are staying on the market longer. We got to remember this influx of homes that are brand new that are kind of taking away from our, pre-owned homes, per se. But when you see this slowing, it'll be the land sales will slow, and then you will see the condos and the mobile homes start to come down a lot, because condos have those monthly fees of like, depending which condo, between 200 to, some of them are 600, just depending on those fees, that makes that whole condo, market slow down. So when you start to see the condos getting reduced, not such a good sign. Mobile homes getting reduced, coming back down. Then the single family homes they'll slow. It doesn't mean that you're going to be cutting your price in half. It might mean that, I had a customer, she watches the show, she'll get a kick out of this, but I had a customer, she said, how much is my house worth? I hadn't gone out. So all the houses were 300, all of them were 300. But her house is, I want to say, super fantastic. Her house is just great. So it's better than the other houses, but everybody's house has a kitchen. Everybody's house has 2 bathrooms. They're all exactly the same. But her house has brand new kitchen. Her house has brand new bathrooms. Her house brand new flooring. The other houses don't have that. So when you average and you leverage the two against each other, appraisers don't go, well, you spent $40,000 on your kitchen, so now the house was $300. Now your house is $340. They go, hey, every house has a kitchen. You've got upgraded granite. That's a couple thousand. You got some new cabinets. Yeah, that's a couple thousand. It's almost like you're getting, like I was saying before on the other show, it's like you're buying a used car. You're kind of getting a used car valuation because your kitchen you bought it for this much money and it looks gorgeous and it's new to you, but it's a used kitchen now. It's in your kitchen, so you're getting a devalued. It's not like a brand new price. You don't just go, here's my $40,000 receipt added on the price of the house. So after explaining that to her, she said, I totally understand. I'm like, they're only going to give you this much. So anyway, we priced the house, and I said, well, it's probably priced still a little on the higher side. And she said, that's okay, I'll reduce it. Now, the problem is when the market was just, they couldn't get enough of the houses, they would like line up at your door. If you overpriced, they would still not, couple would come through, but they would say, this seems high, and then it would be less people coming in. So what you have to do is price the house right where the bank appraisal would come through. And if you cannot justify that price when you're a seller's agent, if you cannot justify that actual price, and you need to explain to your seller that probably not going to get multi-offers, probably going to just get people coming in, maybe one a week, if you overprice your house because you feel like your house is better than everybody else's house. But if you price your house really close to other people's houses with maybe 10, 20 above theirs because you have all these upgrades, then you're still going to have the influx of people, and they're going to be like, wow, for 10,000 more, look at this great place, I got for, 20,000 more, look at this great place. I'm selling one now the other day. It's actually, I'm selling it, selling it tomorrow. And that one's actually in Beacon Woods too. And that one is, the sellers had put $25,000 worth of solar. They didn't think they were moving, So, the agent who listed it was smart. She put $25,000 upgrades, in this, and it had a redone kitchen, just really lots of nice stuff in it. But she knew that she couldn't price point it way out and overprice it. She knew that she couldn't say, this house is worth $350, now it's got the solar $375. And so you could kind of see that in the listing, we can see it. You can probably see it on Zillow, but you can see a price reduction, because the sellers were like, I spent this much money on this solar, I had to pay it all off to sell this house, and so now I want my money back. So, it's nice to kind of have the dream and to put it on the top of your house, but when it comes down to it, the appraisers are not going to take that into consideration. The best thing to do is to price it, and then, like I said, put your used car price on top of it. Put that used valuation on it as far as, I paid $25,000 for it. I'm probably going to get about a $5,000 upgrade, now that it's 2 years old, it's not under warranty, it's this and that, But you know what, though, good point on that solar system was, this house is, I want to say about 1,600 square foot. Their electric bill is $33 average a month. So it's between $30 and $40 a month. So what I thought was fantastic. But in my opinion, with solar, it's great. It's great for the, environment. But it's one of those things, if you're going to move, if you're planning on moving, and if that's not your forever house, then I don't know if I would go buy solar, because I don't think it would justify, I'm going to save, $200 a month. So 200 times 12, that's 2,400. So it's going to 2,400 into 25 grand. You need like 11 years in that house to justify, for me, because I'm a numbers person. So if you're going to stay there forever, the solar seems like a good idea. If you're not, then I would say I don't think I would take a chance with the solar if you're just going to live there a couple of years, because remember you get 25,000, or depending on your house, 10,000 solar, and then you live there 2 years. It doesn't really justify it. But anyway, so it was a great deal. My buyers, actually I had the buyers on that one. They actually ended up purchasing the house, got the solar, found out after how cheap the electric bills were. Everything was great. But I think sometimes as a seller and a seller's agent, you do appease the sellers that say, well, like I spent this much money extra, but I'm telling you guys now, don't add it on top of the price of your house. Listen to your realtor. If they say you're only going to get 5,000 upgrades, then only add on 5. Even if you paid, unfortunately, like 30 or 40, because I know materials went up so much during COVID, because we were, there was no availability. So everything, I know in aluminum, everything almost, went up like a third. And now they say it's going to level out and start coming down again. Well, we'll see, because the gas prices with transportation of items and stuff like that really blew things through the roof. But it seems like the appraisers didn't take on the new value. So, it doesn't, I guess, justify the increases, but, that's kind of how, when you're selling, that's the best way to do it, is just to be conservative. And then if you're still conservative, there still are bidding wars. There still is highest and best if you price it just right. If you're overpricing it, you're not going to see highest and best. And that's the best definition of it, is because you price your house too high. No, there's no multi-offers on your house. Sometimes if you're in a really desirable neighborhood, you're going to still see, you price a little higher, you still see the multi-offers. But they may not be, 10, 20,000 above asking. They may be at asking or close to asking now, is what I'm seeing on the street. Not what I'm, guessing, but this is what actually eyes on, writing contracts and getting contracts accepted and seeing contracts come into my sellers. This is what I'm seeing. If if you're overpricing, or, you can still get outbid and stuff like that. And I know the news is saying that there's no bidding wars now. And I guess it just depends on the neighborhood. If you're not in a desirable neighborhood, and obviously that's probably, if you're like, I'm going to sell them, this property isn't big enough, or there's something wrong with this property, you're not, there's some neighborhoods, we hate to say it, but they're sought after, like people want to live in these neighborhoods. Those multi-unit development, they sell faster. The ones with the heavy-duty HOA restrictions that look like parks, they do sell faster. They are more money. So if you're living in a house that's, it's not in the best neighborhood, it's going to take a little longer to sell. You might have to make your price more appealing to get someone to want to live, where you're trying to move out of, you know what I mean? So you want to make sure that you're thinking of all that. If you live on the water and you have a beautiful waterfront property, a lot of people, I had one the other day, it fell through because the buyers didn't realize that the flood insurance was going to be $9,000 a year. So if you have a desirable property and you're like, this is it, I mean, it's beautiful sunsets, I'm on the water, and you have really high flood insurance, again, know that someone's going to purchase this property and then they're going to get that, that flood amount, that flood quote and the homeowner's quote. And when it comes to about $12,000 a year, whether you're paying cash or not for a home that's maybe, above $500,000, you're going to want to, you're going to want to have that quote ready to go, have your agent get a flood quote, or if you don't have flood insurance, have them get a flood quote. If you have flood insurance is assumable, believe it or not, so you can actually give your quote and have them assume. It's not like a homeowner's insurance, so you can actually show them your quote and have them, assume that quote. The only thing is that, it can go up after, obviously, but you want to have those things in place, because just because you have the location there, that might not be appealing to someone spending $12,000 a year on flood and, and homeowners insurance. So just have those quotes ready. That way you don't have to take your house off the market or waste time with the buyer who's not sure whether they're going to pay, and they get their own quotes, and then they spend that time, and then you're 3, 4, 5 days into this contract, and then the buyer says, "Oh, I don't even want I don't even want it because I've spent all this money in flood insurance." Have everything set. So if someone pulls up and they go, "I love the view," okay, it's $12,000 a year. Okay, they're not later going, "I thought this would only be, $3,000. I only pay $3,000 now." Well, it's on the actual. You're on the golf, you know what I mean? The golf's in your backyard, so you're going to pay more in flood, but some people just don't put all that together. So be prepared, when you're listing a house, to set the price where it's, not at the top of the range, unless we were saying you have, we were saying, like I was saying, you have all the high end, everything is upgraded. Then you can say, okay, my house is the best. But if you have a new air conditioner and no one else has a new air conditioner, it doesn't mean you can put $5,000 on top. Just be prepared with your listing and your prices and stuff to be competitive, because like with everything, when you're selling something, it's a competitive market now more than a seller's market or buyer's market. I feel like it's a market where you're competing with literally your neighbors. So if your neighbor has selling their house for $500 and you're selling yours for $550 and it's exactly the same, they're going to sell theirs first. So and the reason they're going to sell theirs first is because someone's going to walk in and go, "Well, you have upgrades, but I could pick whatever I want with that extra $50,000. That's exactly what they're going to say. So while you're selling, think competitively. Think, I got to keep up with my neighbors. I hate to say it like that because I hate keeping up with the neighbors or the Joneses, but so you want to place your place for sale, not at the highest point, like I said, competitive with the other neighbors. If you are the highest, make that price justifiable for what you have. Don't just because it's mine, it's worth more mentality. Have that. It is worth more because I have these 3 upgrades. I'm going to put this much on it. And then if it doesn't, if you don't get people out, at least like 3 a week, then you need to reduce it. You overstepped, so that's pretty much how it works as far as pricing and stuff. So I hope this helped you guys. And if you need any help, buying or selling, please give me a call. And also I want to thank Nightberry Title Services for being our sponsor. Oh, and I forgot to show you guys the app. But anyway, if you go on the Nightberry Title, the www.nightberry.com, you can see the app on there, and then you can look at buying versus selling, how much you're paying for rent, and work backwards. And I can also show you guys that next week too. We can go over, if you're in a rental situation versus buying, and what the pros and cons and all that stuff is too. So, because I forgot to put that back up. And also I want to thank Delynn Gaston, the mortgage firm, for being so good with the mortgages. She has a whole bunch of different mortgage options and plans to get actual financing in place if you're in a rental situation, again, and you want to find out what's the best, what your payments would be, what you need to do to get your credit in check, just basically everything you need to know about mortgages. Delynn is your lady who will go over everything with you. And if you're not ready for the purchase right now, don't worry. She won't say you're not ready, click, what happened to you. She will stay with you. And if she says, do this, 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 in 6 months, I'll come back and talk to you. You do what she says, and you'll be ready to go, in 6 months. But she'll be good to basically put that plan in place, how much you need to save, how much what credit you need to clean up. She can help you with all that. She does have credit cleanup services, but she's pretty good if you're not, if you're pretty good credit but not ready to buy, don't know how much to put down, call Delynn, and then she can help you out. And also call me, and I can help you as a buyer's agent or selling. Just give me a call, or if you have any questions, I'm always available. Thanks, and I hope you guys all have a great day, and God bless.